Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sadhanani.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, right. So I want to see whether you all are there. Right. So we are today is the end of this year's class, right? So we will see you again on next year. So next Sunday is no classes, right? So next Sunday is a holiday for you as well as for us. So you enjoy your Christmas and be with in 2021. Hopefully it's a good year for us, right? Okay, so now I think you are having the tune with you. We may now, right? Okay, right. So where we have stopped last time? Just okay, 1 minute. Right. So week 3. So we start with just to recap what we have done last week, right? Just to recap some of the things, and we have discussed about this what is HRM and why we need to understand, why we need to follow human resource management, and we define what is HRM, and then we discuss the goals and generic purpose of HRM. Last week, what we have discussed strategic goals of HRM and then objectives of HRM. So why we, in order to achieve our strategic goals, we need objectives, right? So strategic goals are there to achieve our goals, and then goals are there to achieve our organizational objectives. So then we discuss the role of a personal uh, and the role of a human resource management and a personal management and human resource management. And then we discuss about the focuses on HRM, society, individual, and organization. And after that, we discuss about the importance of human resource management, and we discuss a greater length what are functions of HRM or what are the activities. Okay, now I'll start with something different, right? Now we have learned all these things last week. No, now this is 2018 question paper, right? You know, we had the last exam in 2019 September. So 2020 is examless year, right? So in the IBSL, examless year is 2019. So we didn't have any exam in 2018, 19 March, even in November. So 2021, we 2020 is we don't have any exam. Right now, this is appeared in September 2018. Right, question number 1. Now see whether what may be the answer, what we have learned up to now. Right, just go through. Which of the following could be identified as an, this is your past exam, right? At 2 marks. Which of the following could be identified as an administrative role of the HR manager? What may be? Now, don't get confused everything. There is some clear answer here. What is the guest answer? Which of the following could be identified as an administrative role of the HR manager? A, B, C, D. Now we started with D. Planning compensation strategies. Resolving employee complaints. Interpreting HR policies and procedures and preparing equal employment reports. Assessing workforce trends and issues. Now, all are HR functions, HR role, but there is some key specific thing. It is an administrative role. Can anybody tell me the answer? Any volunteer? A, B, C, D. Now we have learned something now. Based on that, what may be the administrative role of the HR manager?
B.
No? Huh?
B.
B. Interpreting HR policies and procedures and preparing equal employment reports. How can I say? Don't go to that level, is an administrative role. That is what this question is little complicating, but those are all our in HR functions, role, but there's something specific we need to look at it.
C.
Resolving employee complaints. So you think only HR manager is to look after complaints? The complaints with now you have a 50-50, right? Now not B, not C, no? So
I
then what?
think it's A.
A is the correct answer. Good, right? I know this is something, but you need to look at it. If a question comes like this, all the others are almost similar, no? I mean, they are very specific, but here is specifically mentioned administrative role. The administrative, now, if you say, now, I'm just tell you how to look at the correct answer. Now, if you say resolving employee complaints, is an issue, no? It's also an issue. If C is correct, A also correct, no? That's my points. Now, employee complaints. Now, assessing workforce trends and issues, right? And also, C also incorporate that. So, therefore, you can think out of C. Right, I know it's little controversial question, but remember, administrative role is always finding out the trends and the issues. Can be any issues, maybe compensation, maybe complaints, maybe policies, right? That is how you need to correct the answer, right? Issues mean any of the B, C, D are all issues. Clear? Understood? B, C, D තුනම issues. Right? එහෙමනම් ඒ වගේ වෙලාවකදී ටිකක් හිතලා බලලා කල්පනා කරලා එහෙමනම් මේ තුනම issue උනා, it should be A is the correct answer. Doesn't matter. So this is your 2018 question number 1. Okay, with this we back again to our what we have learned last week. Strategic human resource management we discussed. What is traditional human resource management and strategic human resource management we discussed with some comparison, and then we started to learn the activities or the functions of human resource management, right? First one we discussed job design. So we under job design we discussed element of a job, right? So what are the elements of jobs? We know duties, responsibilities and things. So significance of importance of job design. Why we need to design your job properly, that also we discussed. I'm not going to repeat again. So we discussed those things in last week, right? So what are the job design techniques available? We discussed little detail on job design techniques, job rotation, job enlargement, and job enlargement, job enrichment. And then we discuss job analysis. Now we discuss why job analysis, right? Why it is important, methods of collecting job analysis informations, and then we discuss the output of job analysis, and that's the most important thing, job descriptions and job specification, right? So I told you to look the newspaper. What is newspaper show? In your advertisement, in the job advertisement, what you can see, if you look at any job advertisement in the newspaper, first part is job description. No? What are the things you need to do? And in order to fulfill that job, what are your specifications? That means what are the qualifications? What are your experience you need to perform that job? So if you really look at job analysis, so job advertisements is talk about both two things. Right. Okay, now can you remember we discussed one question, right? Compare and contrast job descriptions and job specification. Now the word is there. You want to ask your questions like that. Compare and contrast. If a question comes like that, you need to have an idea. Compare means samanaka, similarities, and There are differences. Now, differences, of course, I have given you a tut also is there, but we try to answer the questions. What are the comparisons? Can anybody tell me what are the similarities of job descriptions and job specification? One similarities. Can anybody tell me what is the similarity? දෙකම තියෙන සමානකමක් මොකක්ද? Now, one of you having, I just give you a clue, right? Okay. So, one of you may having sister or brother, no? For you all, you may have some brother or sister. Now, say your name is W, brother is Y. W and Y, who are the father of W and Y? Likewise. So therefore, I just give you a clue, right? So what is the similarity for job descriptions and job specification? Can anybody tell me? Both are, no idea. Both are component of what?
Job analysis.
Job analysis. Good. That's the first similarity, right? Both are similarities. Job descriptions and job specification, both are these units of job analysis. Good. What is measuring? So both are measure something, no? Right? Both are measuring something, no? So those job descriptions are job specification are measuring rod, that are measuring instruments. Because why? Job descriptions measure job. Job specification measure person. Right. Okay, now we look at it, the answer for that. Some of you compare. Both are the products of job analysis. Similarities, right? Just to understand. Now, I just give you this question for you to think, right? How the questions comes like that, even though I am not teach you, right? But I have teach you, but you have to get it from what we have learned. Both are the products of job analysis. Second one, both are measuring rods. Rods mean ekaka. That are measuring is things. What we measure? Job description, we measure the job. Job specification, we measure the job holder. Right? That is why we call job rods. Right? And then we go into, these are some similarities, right? And now we are going to discuss what are the comparison, or what are the difference between job descriptions and job specification. Of course, that of course you are well aware. So let's look at it. So don't worry, right? What are the differences? Now here, what job description explain? Job explains, discuss duties, responsibilities, working conditions, other features of a specified job. Duties, responsibilities, tasks, duties, everything you can put it, right? So for areas pertaining to the job. Now here, under job specification, what we look at it, specify the key qualifications and experience and individual need to perform the job efficiently and effectively. Clear? Right? So job descriptions talk about the tasks, duty, responsibilities, where the job specification talk about, in order to perform that particular job, what are the qualifications and experience you need to have. That is why I told you, if you look at the job vacancy advertisement, both are there. Front part is the job description, other side is job specification. Right. Checker. What is the next difference? Measure the job. What is you are measuring here? Measure the person handling the job. That is what we are going to measure. Job person. Right. Third one, fourth one is not necessary. We say 3 is enough. Right. It is a describe the job, or describe the job. And here we describe the job holder, the person ideally needed to perform the job. So describe the job, They are, of course, describe the person. Okay, right. What is contains? Purpose of the job, working condition, where are you going to do the job, where's the job specification, you are required, your education qualification, your physical skills, your physical fitness, like that you are going to measure. Right. So I think you understood what is the difference between job descriptions and job specifications. Okay, Harida, tell okay, right. Because this is a bad time now. I mean, I've been lectured from here from 8:30 to 12:30. I am now tired, so I need your support. Right? Okay. So we now discuss what is job description, what are the similarities, and what are the differences between job descriptions and job specification. There may be a possibility of asking this question in your exam, right? Okay, right. Now we try to move into the today's. So, oh, right. Now you can answer. Now this is September 2018, the last same year, 2 marks, question number 1. Briefly state about the job specification. Now you see, simple as that. No? What is the answer for this? State about the job specification. It explain what? It explain a person qualifications and experience in order to perform the particular job. That's all. Right? What is the 2 words? Experience and qualification required a person to perform that particular specific job is called job specification. And also you can put job specification is a part of, is a byproduct or part of what? Job
Analysis.
analysis. Good. So now is it 2 marks, right? Now you usually you can earn those marks. Right. What is now briefly state about the job specification? This is your September 2018 again. One question. The job specification mean the person's person qualifications and experience in order to perform a particular job is called job specification. And job specification is a part of or sub product of whatever you call job analysis. You get 2 marks at the right? Okay. So now, having learned these 2 things, so what we are going to discuss today, right? We are going to discuss another area of human resource management, that is human resource planning. And we are going to discuss why human resource planning is important, what are the objectives of human resource planning, what is the human resource planning process, and reasons for creating human resource plan for an organization. And we are going to discuss another important thing today, succession planning, right? I will explain details on this. Now just briefly touch you what are the things we are going to discuss, and the labor turnover under human resource management, right? So then once we complete that, we are going to discuss process of procurement. But procurement, human resource procurement, where we are going to discuss recruitment, definition, purpose, process, methods, and then we are going to discuss selection. Again, we are going to discuss under that definition, objectives, importance, methods, and hiring. What is hiring? What do you mean by hiring? And the 4th one, we have this all depends on the time permit, right? We are going to discuss induction. What is induction? I think if you are working, everybody has gone an induction program, right? What are the things you learn under induction program? What are the benefits induction program for you as well as for your organization? Now, these are the things we are going to discuss with you today. Very interesting, very easy things you know. Okay, right. These are the areas we are going to touch. So we may go one by one in details, right? Okay, first you take human resource planning, right? What is the definition of human resource planning? Why need to plan? You know, in an organization, people are leaving, right? Some people are retiring, some people are migrating for another organization, some people are join another organization, some people stay home after getting marriage and all. So therefore, human resource manager need to find people, right? So you need to plan how many of people you need in 2021. Apart from that, we discussed last time strategic human resource management. Can you remember? Suppose if you are going to open 10 branches as a strategic activity next year, 2021, your bank is going to open 5 branches. One branch have at least 5 people. So you need how many people? In that case, 25 people. Now itself, as a HR manager, need to plan how many of people you need to want, need to fulfill this requirement. For that, what you need to do? So you need to plan, right? So focus on adequate manpower to the organization is important to achieve your organization objective. You need people to achieve your organization objective. So organizations are there to achieve their organization objective. HR people support achieving that objective, right? Uh, why a lot of people are not follow human resource planning? What is the reason why a lot of people are not following or pay me attention to human resource planning? Why they are not bothered about these things sometimes? One reason is lack of understanding, right? They are not understood the human resource planning functions of human resource management, right? And sometimes maybe none attitudes. You think so they don't want to plan as they want. We need a people. We will get it outside or promote one person. So that's attitudes. අපි plan කරන ඒවා නෙමෙයි ඉල්ලුවා කෙනෙක් ගත්තා දැම්ම something like that. And most of the people are wait for finally අර අන්තිම මොහොතේ එනකන් ඉන්නවා කෙනෙක් ගන්න. So these some of the reasons why human resource planning not pay much attention by the people concerned, right? Okay, now what is human resource planning? Why? It is the process. Now I'm always telling the word comes, the process comes, series of activities, right? Remember the word process is series of activities. කිසි ක්‍රියාදාමයක එකතුවක්, right? Process of what is the process? We need to determine future employee needs. Future employee needs. Why we need to determine the future employee needs? As I told you, some people are retiring, some people are migrating, some people leave the organization, some people promoted, some people were sacked from the organization. So we need to find out people. So process of determining future employee needs. We are going to open 5 branches next week. So those are the reason why we need people, why we need to plan. And then once you determining the future employee needs, now we need to decide or steps or strategies. How are you going to fulfill these needs? Right? Designing steps mean or strategies mean කොහොමද අපි මේක මේ අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රමාණය පුරවන්නේ? මොකක් සඳහාද? What purposes? To accomplish organization goals and objectives. Why? We need people to perform, people to achieve our organizational goals and objectives. Right. Now you know what you mean by a human resources planning, right? What are the strategies we are going to use to fill these posts? So therefore, human resource management planning is the process of determining future employee needs and designing strategies to achieve those needs. What purpose? Achieve organizational objective. Right? Okay. Clear? Hari. Right. Okay. Then why? That is why importance of human resource planning. Why it is important for an organization to plan? to determining future employees. That is the first one, right? So determine future employee needs. First thing, no, that's a definition also. Then second one, to utilize human resource more efficiently and effectively. Why we need? Because human resource is the costly exercise, right? We need to maximum use it from, you get the maximum benefit and utilization from them. Because it's very costly. I told you, other than the interest rate, what is the next cost? Human resource cost. Therefore, we need to manage them very efficiently and effectively, right? Just because of control your cost. And also, we need to develop high talent employees. Why? Suppose there is a vacancy in the manager post, right? Why we need to plan now? So who is going to put into that position? Are we going to take outside straight away and put into the manager, or we may give some person inside the organization to what? To promote them, right? So we need to it's planning will we will facilitate to develop the talent of the employee who are going to become a manager, right? So that is our duty. HR planning will tell you there's a vacancies like this, so we have to now groom them into the take the manager position, right? The last one, as explained to you, to implement and support strategic plan. Example, you can put open 5 branches next year. You need to plan to fulfill this requirement, right? These are the 5 importance of human resource management, right? So let's look at it now. What are the objectives, right? MPP mean manpower planning, right? Objective of human resource planning, right? And it is an objective, the requirement of sufficient and suitable staff. So it is HR manager to look after enough, sufficient, suitable staff to be there, right? It is HR. Then retention in the organization. So plan. So if you don't want to have a much problem, if the people who are with the organization retain, good. But there are some people get older and retire, so therefore planning also important for retention in the organization and optimum utilization and improvement of staff performance, right? Those things I don't want to repeat again, right? Let's look at it now. What is the process? Now think about your HR manager in your bank, right? Say for an example, now you was asked to fulfill certain requirement. What are you going to do? That's simple. This is the way you need to look at it. Then easy to understand. Let's look at it now. HRP process, right? Now see whether your bank also doing the same thing. The first step is, what is the first step is forecast future demand for human resources. Now how to do that part? You look at it, how many people are going to retire 2021, right? Okay, right? With your past experience, also you know, every year certain people leave the organization. You have some idea, right? And also you have a strategic plan. How many branches you are going to open next year? What are the new divisions you are going to add to your organization, or maybe you need now? So you also may have some requirements are coming from different department. Now say, so your marketing department say, I need some more people to sell my credit cards. Branch managers department will tell you, okay, I need more people. I don't have much people in the counter these days, you know, corona and all. People are not coming, you know, quarantine, all things are there. I need people. Oh, you have some idea. So some people working in the foreign exchange, they think, I don't want much because I don't open LCs now, so I don't want much people. Like this, you may have an idea. So you forecast future demand for human resources. First one. Second one, you now look at it. How many people are there at the moment? How many people now? Say branch. Say 25 people are working in a leading branch in Colombo. Now you don't have a much businesses, as I told you, we don't have much LC opening. So now my branch is, now I can manage with 20. Right? Now you look at it, how many people are there? Right? How many people you want? How many people are there? Right? Then there's a gap, no? So there's a gap. Gap may be either positive or negative. Right? So therefore, demand is more than supply, you have a positive gap. Suppose your demand is more than, supply is more than your demand, so you have a negative gap. So you identify the gap. Now, having identified the gap, what are the ways forecast future demand? Now, so to answer to the first question, so you can write down the next one. So then you look at it, based on that you develop the strategies, right? Okay, before that, now we move into forecast future demand for HR. The first step. Now, what are the forecast future demand for HR? One is, what are the factors affecting the future demand? One, maybe resignations, sometimes the terminations, due to promotions, due to strategic plan activity. Some people are resignations, right? Due to various reasons, so you will forecast future demand, right? You can put down one by one under that. Okay, factors affecting future demand. Some people are retiring, some people are resigning, some people are terminated by the bank, some people get promoted, then there's a vacuum, or some reason due to business or business decisions, or maybe due to strategic plan, open 5 branches. Okay, or you expand your business activities. Whatever you can say, why you need people to improve your business, right? So put down all these factors, right? Clear? The 1, 2, 3, 5 points more than enough. One factor is due to resignation, due to death, due to terminations, due to promotion, due to certain external factors, right? Due to some strategic plan, like that. So these are the future demand, right? Then you need to estimate the second one, as I explained to you, what is your existing amount. Now, that you can do it through carried out internal auditing of HR. Auditing HR means how many people you can have the register. So you can have register of people, how many people are available in the organization, how many banking assistants are there, how many managers are there, how many executives are there, how many AGMs, DGMs, like that. You have a current list of internal supply, right? Okay, from that you can have the correct idea. Clear now? Estimate HR supplies, simply you can put it like that. Auditing the current present situations, right? Okay. Harry, right. Now what is the third factor? Third factor is, now I told you, human resource shortages. Now what do you mean by that? Human resource shortages. Now that means demand is more than supply. There's a shortage of people. Now what action you can do for that? Now the question is saying, what is the process? First, forecast the future demand, estimate the HR supply, then compare forecast demand with estimated supply. Then you have a minus, positive or negative, or gap. Gap may be excess or may be less, right? Then you need to develop strategies, right? Now you need to find out strategies. If the shortage, what you're going to do? If you have excess, what you're going to do? So that is strategies, right? Now going back again to shortages condition, what you do, what your boss is telling, are you staff overtime karan? Some people are not giving OT, so you have to work till night and blah blah. So with the existing people, you need to manage. or will some people will ask to do overtime. Or sometimes you may subcontract works to other organization, right? Some of the things whether you can do it by the outsourcers, you may go for subcontract. For especially for branches, you know, tea making, janitary work, also you can get something from subcontract to workers to the other organization. You don't want to have a people like that, right? Okay, so they hire part-time employees. Hire part-time employees. What do you mean by that? Now we have a banks are heavily used after A level. There are students are there no waiting for the results and all. We call that what intention course, right? So some A-level students we call for part-time employees. මාස 7කට විතර රුපියල් 15000ක් විතර දීලා උපරිම වැඩ ගන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගිහිලා මොනවද කරන්නේ? ෆොටෝ කොපි ගන්නවා. ඒවා ජොබ් පියන්ගේ වැඩක් කරනවා. අර වගේ ලියුම් ගිහිලා දෙනවා. So you are supporting other people. So anyhow, you are happy because you are working for a bank, respect, and you also getting some 15,000 while you stay at home. You won't get anything, no. So banks also benefited, you also benefited, right? Intern, right? Intern කියලා අපි ගන්නේ මාස 6 ඊට පස්සේ ගෙදර යවනවා. හොඳනම් ඉතින් ගන්නවා. That's a different story, right? It's a higher part-time employees to short fill the certain requirements, right? Then capital substitution. What do you mean by a capital substitution? That means the work you have done by a human was replaced by some instrument. Capital substitution, right? So එක මිනිහෙක් කරපු එක දැන් ඔන්න machine එකකින් කරන්න. You don't want now. So that's another way you can short fill the shortages. Then hire temporary full-time employees. Sometimes you won't get a permanent employee. We take on contract basis. Right? This is another way of getting the people. Temporary full-time employees, right? And that's a one method. Contract. So you're only for 2 years. After that, you need to go. Oh, the last resort. Banks will go for last resort is hire permanent full-time employees. Full-time employees, right? So these are the strategies can be used by HR people for fulfilling any shortages of human resource management, right? Shortages, right? Okay, I think you understood. Now we look at it. What are the suppose you have too much of people. Now these days sometimes the banks is having too many people because not much operating activities. Some banks are not that, but there is something. So then whatever, first thing is do stoppage of hiring new employees, right? So you are not going to take the new employees to the organization, right? First step they do. Then reduce overtime. So reduce overtime. So next, voluntary retirement. Some people say, I'll give you a package, golden package. So voluntary retirement, if you want to leave the organization, right, I will pay you 3 months salary and please go. That is voluntary retirement. So there are a lot of benefit offers are given people who are retiring, right? Retirement. Next one is called layoff. Some people are under contract, some people are under temporary. We may lay off, they will ask to go, right? And also sometimes reductions of reward expenditure. Now sometimes some people are now need to work under lesser salary, certain not lesser salary, so other benefits will be curtailed. Now in these days, no businesses, certain organization, you noted that, so they have salary, they will deducted some people expenditure, right? Then formal outplacement facilities, so we will get it outpayment facilities also we remove, right? So we don't want to get, there are enough internal people to do and things like that. And finally is the termination, right? Was asked to, once you completed your contract period, no, you are not going to extend this contract period. These are some of the strategies you can take place if there is any excess people. If there are shortage people, there are some strategies. Now the third point Demand estimate, so evaluate your existing staff. Third one, identify the gap, find out the strategies. Now the strategies are like this, all right? So that is human resource planning. Understood? Right. Okay, clear the, now we have just completed human resource planning process. Clear? Right? Okay. Now, why we need to create a HR plan for an organization? Why we need? What is the reason for creating a HR plan? One, simple as that, to rationally plan recruitment. ආර්ථික ලෙස මිනිස්සු ගැනීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් සැලසුම් කිරීම සඳහා. Rationally planned recruitment, right? Third, to rationally forecast future costs to assist the budget. If you are going to take 5 people, what may be the cost? That is important for our budgeting purposes. How much of we need to allocate for their salaries and things like that. Then, to smooth change management or redeployment, redundancy, etc. So we need to redeploy, you may be asked to go, all things we need to plan, right? How many people are going and things like that. And to assist in planning the education, development and training needs of the staff. Now, say for an example, sometime we need to send him for a overseas training, maybe for further education. So for that, we need to plan who is going to go away, so we're going to replace, like that, right? So these are some of the reason for HR plan. And the last one, quickly to ever changing circumstances. So if something happened, so we know who is going to replace or how we are going to take a new person. Sometimes suddenly we need 6 people. So what is the plan for that? So these are the 5 reasons for creating human resource plan. Right? We look at it in a different angle. Reason for creating human resource plan. Right. Now you understood what is human resource planning process, HRP. What is human resource planning? What is the process? Right? What are the strategies you're using, whether when you have excess staff? What are the strategies you may have a shortage staff? Now, so once you look at it, all these alternative strategies that managers can end up in the case of manpower shortages. Now we discussed earlier, these are the strategies available for manager, HR manager to practice, right? Without getting a new people. But you need to get a new people for an organization. So that is what you call a procurement of new employees directly from the labor market. That means from the market, that means from the outside, or from internal supply through promotion and transfer. So you identify there's a manager post. There's a manager post. What you can do, as I explained to you earlier, what is the strategy? So you can see whether one person internally can be promoted to that post, or are you going to take from outside? Right? Now look at it. Now we are going to take, okay, clear now. Terunada, right? Right, I need to your feedback, right? Going back to your this thing. Okay, have you understood up to now? Clear? So
Yes, sir.
yes, then,
Yes, sir.
right? Our some names are very difficult. Avi Hinsa, Aish, okay, Chamod, Darshika. Right, okay, right, okay. Now I need some, then I need some breaks and want feedback from you, then I can process. Now we discuss another functions of human resource management. No, what is the truth? Up to now we discussed job design, we discussed job analysis. Now we just completed another actions, what you call human resource planning. ඔය මාළකුවට කිව්වට ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ HR department එකේ ඉන්න වැඩ වගේ පෙන්නන්නේ ඕව තමයි කරන්නේ. බලන් ගියාම හරි simple නේ. You also can do the same thing. Right. Now going back again to for the theory. Right? Okay. Going back again the theory. Right. Okay, now we discuss. So how can you put a person? We can, two things we can do. One is, right, we can get the person from outside, or sometimes we can see within the organization, we can get somebody to take up this manager post. So that's planning is called. Are you ready? Now say there's you found a vacancy in the say Maharagama branch, your branch, suddenly manager maybe leave the organization. Okay. Now who is going to put as a manager to Maharagama, your branch? Who is going to put? Now are you ready? Are you have a plan for that? That plans, we call them as succession plan. That plan is called as succession plan. Who is going to succeed that post? Are you having a separate plan? Succession plan. Now, we have a lot of problem with succession plan. Right now, we are in the politics. I don't want to explain all these things, but we have a lot of problem with the politics. Who is going to be the next leader of particular party? කවුද ඊට පස්සේ ලොක්ක හදිසියෙන් මැරුණා? කවුද ඊට පස්සේ ලොක්ක? Now, you know, we have a lot of problem with this planning in the politics, right? So who is going to be the next leader? Fighting. Why we don't have a succession plan? But central bank as our regulator instructed or insist every bank must develop a succession plan. Central bank also telling you to develop strategy plan for your organization. Central bank instruct for you to develop what the other plan, important plan? Business. Anybody can tell me what is the other plan central bank is requesting all the banks to do? One is strategy plan. Every bank must have a plan for 3-year business operation. That is called strategy plan. Every bank must need to prepare. It's compulsory. Second compulsory plan is what? I think some of you are aware. That is what
continuity plan.
Business continuity plan. If something happened to your business, how we are going to start next day? So that is business continuity plan. We call BCP. Very good. What is the third plan? What central bank is required is what's that? Succession plan. So according to the central bank, 3 plans need to be developed by every bank. One, strategy plan, BCP, business continuity plan, and the third plan is the succession plan. It is must. But this plan is a little very sensitive plan. What is succession plan is talk about? Right? What is succession plan is talk about? It is a process for identifying and developing internal people with the potential to fill the key leadership positions in the organization. Leadership position is a manager's leadership position. Who is going to take over the managership? And it is organizations to develop who is going to place. Now, say for an example, increase the availability of experienced and capable employees that are ready to assume key leadership roles. Now, example, I'll tell you. Now, take for example, commercial bank. I'm not take one side, right? Commercial bank. Now, your MD during that time is going to retire, Mr. Jagan. So he is replaced by who? Who is replaced? First his name. Okay. So there is a way. Who is going to be the next guy? Who is not going to be the next GM or CEO? Right? Now, you look at it, the other banks. People are there, identify. Now Now, who is going to replace Ceylon? Who is going to replace? Something happened to your CEO, who is going to take over? So there are some people have identified these are the next GM, these are the next DGM, these are our next manager, like that. So that plan is need to be prepared by the organization. But mind you, this is a very, very difficult plan to prepare by the internal organization. But you have to be prepared in a very professional way. Otherwise, people are come up with lot of issues, no? And whatever, there are 5 people are there, so they are fighting each other. So there are a lot of pros and cons of preparations of succession plan. That is why, some organizations are little reluctant to prepare the succession plan, but it's necessary to prepare. You can see the party, our political party. So they never say who is our next leader. The 5-6 දෙනෙක්ම නම් කරනවා. Deputy leaders ලා 20ක් විතර නම් කරනවා. ඉතින් උන් ගා ගන්නවා. Right? Look, kind of so me. Right? So this is what happened for certain parties, why they collapse, because they don't have a successful plan, succession planning. Right? Okay, we don't want to talk on this thing, but remember the important things. Right? Now, today succession planning has become a very important leadership process, and growing number of firms have formal plans in place. Yes, plans. Right? But bigger the firm, the more likely that the firm has a succession plan in place, and it is a mandatory thing. Right? It is a mandatory thing. Mandatory mean why? Because it's a central bank requirement. Okay, now having understood about the success plan, let's look at it. Some model questions you can answer. Right? Okay, first question. Right, now this question. Now, okay, before that, before I will tell this story, now your succession plan, right? Your succession plan. Now, sometimes you need to plan it. Now, there are some people going next 6 months. So, you must have a plan for very short, immediate replacement. Now, some plans may be of another 5 years time, or maybe another 3 years time only these people are going. So, you need to plan for more or less a medium term, right? After 3 years, these people are going. These DGMs are going. There are 6 DGMs are going, others 3 years time. Now, who are going to promote AGMs to go into that positions? Or maybe another 5, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years line. These people, everybody in the top managements are leaving. So who are going to be there in the next 10 years? So therefore, your strategy plan must be, your succession plan must be prepared in such a manner for immediate requirement, mid-term requirement, so short or medium-term requirement, or the long-term requirements, right? Your success plan also need to be prepared accordingly. Immediate requirement, mid-term requirements, and the long-term requirements. Okay, right. Now, having explained to this, now this is your September, your last exam question. Last exam means September, we had the last exam. Okay, what is the answer for this? This is also 2 small question, right? 2 marks. Name 3 main steps in succession planning under human resource management. Can anybody tell me the answer? Now, suppose this question came. Now, having understood what is succession planning, right? Okay, what is the answer? What are the 3 main steps? I just little while ago explained to you. 3 steps. What are the 3 steps? You need to develop plan for immediate requirement. Second step, medium term requirement. Maybe 5, another 3 to 4, maybe another 1 to 3 years time, or maybe 3 year period. Or long term means another 5 to 10 year period. So HR manager can see, we can get the retirement age, and we know his age, and we know after 5 years, these people are going. So you can get a list of human resource. You can get a list of your AGMs and DGMs, for example, or your managers. So in 2024, how many people are going leaving the organization, retiring? Right? And then they look at it, people who can go into that leadership position. That is your plan, succession plan. Right? Understood? Clear the right? So what are the three main steps in success planning? Immediate, medium term, long term requirement. When you're prepared your success plan, you need to prepare accordingly. Okay. Harida, komata sadde naane. Right. Okay. Now next one. Okay. This is March 2017. Okay. Now මේකට රාමුතු උත්තරේ හරියටම ඕනේ. Right? This is appeared in March 2017. Okay. Tell me the answer.
C.
Answer is C. Why not human resource planning? That's also correct. No. How is that? So that is why you're all about the right. Now here I want to tell you something. Remember, succession planning is a part and parcel of human resource planning, and also is an employment planning. ඒකේ කොටසක් තමයි succession plan කියන්නේ. මතක තියාගන්න ඒක. හරි නේද? Succession planning කියලා කියන්නේ human resource planning එකේ sub unit එකක්, sub plan එකක්. දැන් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ human resource plan එකනේ. ඒකනේ අපි කිය how many people you need, how many people are there, how we are going to fill in this gap, and fill in the gap එකේ එක කැලලක් තමයි what succession planning. Right. Okay. Now you found, right, next question. Okay, homework. Then I want to tell you now, next Sunday we don't have a classes now. Either. So me in the whole Natala Samarala. But remember, we have a second and third we are having the classes. Now this is your homework. So we will try to discuss the answer. Then what are the advantages of succession planning under human resource management for a financial institution? Tell me what are the advantages. Or if you can write, what are the disadvantages also, you can better. What are the advantages? You can write the answer question. What are the advantages as well as disadvantages of preparations of succession planning for a financial institution? Okay, right? Okay, I'll give you a small homework about the succession planning. Now, most of the time, there's a long questions come, write down small short notes about succession planning. Right? Maybe 2-3 times in your exam, the examiner will test you, write short notes about succession planning. So what are the things you need to write? First, you define what is succession planning, right? Okay. Then you can say succession plan steps, explain. And then you can write down advantages and disadvantages, 1 or 2 at least. So you covered 5 marks, right? For that support, so please try to answer this one for when you're coming back on 3rd, we will try to discuss this matter. We have a 1 week free now, right? So example, I will tell you succession plan. What are the advantage? So one advantage is I will just give you a food for thought, right? One advantage is having a succession plan. So your employees are motivated. So you know there is a way to go up in the ladder, right? One of the disadvantages. What is one of the disadvantages? Very difficult task, very sensitive plan to be prepared. Some people get, right? Some people will get upset on that, right? Okay, that is why a lot of people are not disclosed, right? Okay, so think whatever refer books, you develop your knowledge, right? So any questions about the succession planning, Can you answer now? Simple yes, yes or no. There are so many, but in your level, that's more than enough. Clear? Arida, go Danny, Sadhana. Right? Understood what is succession planning. So thereby we are going to cover human resource planning. Right. Next one. Again a model question, but don't worry, I will give you the answer for this. Right? So what is the labor turnover? And what are the reasons for same? Why people are, what is labor turnover? And why it is, English, one letter is missing, right? Important, pure, spelling grammar mistake, spelling mistake, please write down. It is important to the organization. Right, now let's look at it. What is labor turnover? Labor turnover. So what is labor turnover is briefly how many people are leaving the organization in a given period of time, right? How many people are leaving the organization? Now say for it is denoted as a percentage, right? How you make a percentage, you can write down under that, right? Total number of employees down top. How many people are leave per year, say 2020. For the year 2020, how many people leave the organization at the top, divided by total employees of the organization into 100. So that is the labor turnover percentage. Usually the labor turnover expressed as a percentage, right? What you need under the note, you can write down, right? Number of people leave or left, right? Maybe say 1 year period, 5 people divided by, okay, we say 100 people divided by 1,000 people, number of employees, into 100. Right? So if it is the case, what is the percentage? If you say 1,000, so say 50 people leave, not good, no? Right? So what is the percentage? Is how much? 5%. Right, 5%. 5%. Now what do you think? 5% is good or bad? 5% also little more, no? So labor turnover gives you an idea about the management, how satisfied you are, why people are leaving. The management need to find it out why people are leaving. What is the reason? It's not good for an organization. You know, it is very difficult to get the new people. We will discuss all these things in while we are going on. It is very difficult task. Get a new people, right? Now let's look at it. Reason for labor turnover. What are the reason? Because of more pay, people are leaving for another bank. Because of better prospects. අපි හැමතිස්සම කියන career move අයියෝ මම හැමදාම දැන් ඇවිල්ලා මම අවුරුදු ගාණක් වෙලේ තාම banking assistant කිසිම promotion එකක් නැහැ. So but that bank is having a good prospects. I'll go there and I can become a assistant manager, executive like that. So better prospect and more security. අයියෝ මේ බැංකුව කොයි වෙලේ කඩා වැටෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. I want to go for more stable bank. So look for a more stable position in your job. And මේක හිටියට කිසිම මට ඉගෙන ගන්න නැහැ. හැමදාම සල්ලි ගන්නවා සල්ලි දෙනවා. Take the accepting the cash, giving the cash. I have not developed my skills. I have not developing my other skills. Working from other department. I want to develop my skills. Therefore I leave the organization. Better working condition. Ayyo, වැඩක් නැහැ, පඩි නැහැ, ඉන්න තැනක් නැහැ, අයියෝ දාඩිය දානවා. So all these things. And then other one is a poor relationship manager. I have always problem with manager. He try to harass me. I try to bullying me. I don't have a better terms. You know, he is asking unwanted things and all bloody things. So therefore, poor relationship with manager. Maybe you will maybe change your bank. maybe being organized, and maybe poor relationship with your colleagues. ආපු දවසේ ඉඳන් මට ඊර්ෂ්‍යාවයි කරන්නේ, මට රගින්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. My colleagues are not supporting you. I don't have a good relationship with my other people, colleagues, so therefore I am going to leave. Right? So there's a reason. Then bullying or harassments, you know, මාව ජෝක් එකට අරගෙන මට අනවශ්‍ය දේවල් and all. So maybe due to some personal reason, due to pregnancy. Some people during the pregnancy going for a child and never come back to work because he had to look after child. There's no people to look after child. Maybe due to some illness, and maybe the husband is transferred to the you are in Colombo, husband is transferred to Anuradhapura, you are asking for asking for transfer. The management say no, you can't give transfers, and then whatever. But the option, you to look after your husband or you to look after your job. So some people are selecting better to be there with husband, otherwise I'll be losing both. So therefore he go. So what you need to go? He leave the organization. So these are the reasons why labor turnover. Right? Remember, it's give you indicating to the management why people are leaving. Right? And also, again, another important thing is the labor turnover is people are leaving mean is a high cost. Labor turnover is a cost to the organization. Right? Remember that. Okay? Labor turnover is high cost to the organization. So now you know what is labor turnover. Labor turnover mean in a given period of time, how many people are leaving the organization. And that percent is calculated on percentage base. That means how many people are leave divided by total number of employees into 100. That will give you a percentage. If this percentage is high, mean there is something wrong with the organization. So management need to look at it. Why people are leaving? They may have a conducting research, some survey why people are leaving maybe. So they try to rectify. Why? Remember, it's a cost to the organization. High labor turnover, one way is bad reputation to the organization and also difficult to get the new people. Why? Why labor turnover is not good? One reason is a costly. And we want to get a new people, is a costly. Second one, right, is a bad reputation. Third one is tarnish the relationship with the customers. Why? When you come to a bank, when අලුත් එක්කනේ කෝ අර කලින් හිටපු ළමයා එයා අසල ගියා. Right. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා ආයෙ සුමාන දෙයකට පස්සේ ආයෙ එනවා බැංකුවට. ඒ ළමයාත් නැහැ. කෝ අර මේ ළමයා එයාත් ගියා අසලා. Then customer get panic. He think there's something goes wrong with this bank. He try to withdraw the money quickly and move to another bank. Why? Why internal people are leaving? They are suspicious. මේක කඩා වැටෙන්න යනවා වගේ පේනවා. So these are some of the reasons why labor turnover is impacted your organization. Right? Okay. Right. Then having learned that part, now we are moving to the procurement, human resource procurement process. Now, human resource procurement process consists of 4 important steps, 4 important areas. Right? Okay. 1, recruitment. 2nd, selection. 3rd, hiring. 4th, induction. Right? Now, if the examiner asks you, what are the name the steps of HR procurement process? These are the main steps: recruitment, selection, hiring, inductions. Now, these are functions of HR. Now, we are going to discuss in details now, right? Okay, right. Now, before that, I'll go back again to my students. What do you think? You understood? Okay, up to now, what we have learned now, human resource planning, and then we discuss about the succession planning, and then we discuss labor turnover, what is labor turnover and why it is important and things like that. and we move into slowly to the next steps of. Now we have identified second important thing is, now we noted that we succession planning, through the succession planning we can find a person suitable to fill that job. Right now we found that we noted that through the succession planning there is a, say for an example, a manager post I explained to you earlier, Maharagama manager. You can't see any person, right? You can't see any person fitting to this post. Now what you are going to do? ඇතුළෙත් නැත්තම් මොකද කරන්නේ? So now you are going to find it out, a person outside your bag. In the market, you try to get somebody to fill that post. For that is what you call the procurement process, right? That is what you call the procurement process. Okay, Ganidu, understood? Ganidu, no? Is that correct, Ganidu? Right? Ganidu? Harida, Harita, Ganidu, Hasheni, Pame nam tika keme yatin kiyono, right? Okay. Right, Jaikodi Arachige, Kaushalya, Manisha, Madusha,
Yes, sir.
right, Mohammed Mustafa, my friend, right? You usually answer. Nadun, okay? Nishma, Anif, no? Nalita, right, okay. Jayakudi Arachige, Pasindu, Madhuanta, right, okay. Right, okay, clear, right, okay. Now we moving to again back to our topic. Right, so we are now trying to explain the important things. So a lot of students may be confused with these two words. What is the two words? A lot of students are confused with recruitment and selection. Right? Recruitment, selections are totally two different things. As an HR student, as a layman, you can say, I was recruited to the bank. So that's wrong. Right? Then you say, what's that? I was hired to the bank in terms of it. Okay, let's look at it now. What are the difference between these steps? Okay, first we look at it, recruitment. So what is recruitment? Right? Now, recruitment is the process of finding, remember, finding and attracting suitably qualified people to apply for employment. Apply for employment. If I prefer, if you use this definition for your exam, or otherwise search people. So therefore, recruitment means you are not going to take to the organization, right? Remember that? Now you know the meaning, no? What is recruitment mean? Is the process of the finding and attracting, suitably qualified people to apply for employment. Qualified people to apply for employment. Then you be heard about lot of stories about Raja Katha, king stories. Rajatumata innoa lassana duwe. Then this Rajatumagi duwata bandala dennone Rajakumari. Then Rajatuma මොකද කරන්නේ? Rajatuma කරන්නේ recruitment එක. මොනවද කරන්නේ? Rajatuma හොයනවා suitable හොඳ දක්ෂතාවය පෙන්වන අපි කරන්න අර දුනු විදලා සටන් කරලා ඒවා පවත්වලා හොඳ qualified නැත්නම් හොඳ රජ කුමරුවෙක් හොයනවා රජ කුමරුගේ රාශියක් ඇතුලේ නේද? ඒක recruitment. ඒවා එකම රජිත් කුමාරට එකපාරට මේ රජ කුමාරයෙක් වෙලා බඳලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ. මොකද කරන්නේ? රජ කුමාරුන්ට ඔක්කොටම ඉන්න කියන. right? එක වගේ ඔක්කොම. රජ කුමාරයෝ ඔක්කොම එක වගේ. right? එතකොට අන්න recruitment. right? ඒ වගේ තමයි. for job also, remember, you are trying to find it out more qualified people for attract for employ. That is recruit. That is recruit. Clear? So that doesn't mean you are selected for your organization. So your recruitment. So job of a human resource manager, if you are not done your recruitment job properly, remember the HR people have not done your recruitment job properly, you can't select the best person. Why? Because දැන් හිතන්නකෝ දැන් attract කරපු ටික ඔක්කොම මෝඩයෝ. හිතමු නිකන් ඔක්කොම මැටි මෝලු මෝඩයෝ. දැන් තෝරගන්න එකෙත් මෝඩයෙක්ගෙත් මෝඩයෙක්නේ. Right? Now suppose you have a talented people. Now you're going to select best out of best. If your recruitment part is not done properly by your HR department, so other functions of HR like selections, hiring, and inductions is useless. So in order to get a best person, you must have a better recruitment job. Right? Now I think you understood what you meant by a recruitment. Now, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of recruitment? So it is increase the size of the applicant pool at minimum cost. ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ගන්නත් ඕනේ. හැබැයි අඩු වේදනේ. Right? And identify and prepare potential job applicant. Identify and prepare potential job applicant. And increase the success rate, right, of selection. Right? Decrease early turnover of new hires. But again, I will get better good that. Me ඔක්කොම රඳා පවතිනවා. Me අපි recruit කරන procedure. Right? So okay. Now you know what you mean by the recruitment. Right? Clear? Right? The recruitment has to be done very well. Otherwise, you can't get the correct person to the organization, to the job. Right. Now, this is a recruitment process. Now, see, if you really look at it, recruitment process, what you try to do. So first, you need to identify the job vacancy. First, you need to identify the job vacancy. Right. How you can identify the job vacancy? Through what? Right? Maybe due to from human resource planning and specific requests made by managers. Now you identify there is a vacancy in your divisions, or maybe human resource planning will tells you there is opportunity, identify the planning to fill the Maharagawa job, identify the job vacancy. Then what you're going to do? Ascertain the job requirement. Now, how you're going to ascertain the job requirement? That means, so through job analysis, what is job analysis tell you? What is the type of person we need and what is the qualifications you need for do that job. So that is the second step. Ascertain the job requirement is that. From job analysis, what we have learned, these two steps we have already learned. We tells you, okay, what are the type of qualification you need. Then what are the, we look at it, consider the factors affecting recruitment. We look at the factors affecting the recruitment. What are the factors? What is organization policy? Before you take outside, we try to get it from inside. What is the cost we are going to spend for getting people? What is the time we need immediately, or maybe sometime, maybe 3 months time, 4 months time, like that. So you look at the other factors impacting the recruitment. Organization policy. Some organizations say we are not going for outside recruitment. First, we'll try to look at it, internal people. And then not only we go, we look at those factors. And the third factor we look at, prepare job application. So sometimes some banks may having their own application form. A lot of banks are now having their own application form. Or we will ask candidate to send their own application form. There are two ways. Some banks are having their own, right? Now that is standard or self-prepared. Now a lot of banks are now having their own application form, and they was requested to fill that download from internet and fill that application. Then you can easily, what is the advantage of standard? Easy comparison. self prepared so selection, shortlisting is difficult for a call for an interview. So therefore we may have a standard one, everybody fully that, easy for us to evaluate the applicants, right? Prepare job application. Then select the methods of recruitment. Now, what is the select the method of recruitment mean? We may go for either internal selecting or maybe go for external. So that is the based on the policy, right? Then we go for implementation. Now, implementation mean, so we will request individuals apply and their applications are received. Now on the apita, so now the last step is evaluations of recruitment. Then on application. Pirila me application api okkoma then onna api අධ්‍යයනයක් කරන්න යනවා. කාටද කවුද අපිව කාටද අපි එන්නේ කියන්නේ කියලා. Interview එකට හරි test එකට හරි මොකද. So this is what you call the recruitment process, right? Now these are simply way you can remember, right? Identify job vacancies, that is their human resource planning is there to identify. Job analysis are there to ascertain the job requirement, what is the qualification you need. Then we look at what are the time period we need, the cost factor, the policies and all, and we may ask them to prepare an application form. It may be standard or self-prepare, whatever. Then we look at it whether how from where you're going to look at it, internal or external. Now internal, we send a circular or maybe put in the intranet, there's a post you can apply. And so individuals apply and the applications are received. That's the implementation plan. And evaluation means we select, we got thousands of applications. Are we going to collect, interview all thousands of people, or maybe shortlisted and select 100, or maybe 200 or whatever? That's depend on the decisions taken by the manager. Now you know what is the recruitment process. Right. Now we move into the recruitment methods. Right. Two methods now I explained to you. One method is internal and external. External means one method. Now you need to remember succession plan. Are we having our succession plan to get somebody to and fulfill that post? Or there are something like that, maybe through intranet or job posting or whatever. External means outside. So what is the method of you're going to recruit, right? Or maybe due to internal letter, intranet, like that. Next one, external is put a paper advertisement, or maybe give this advertisement to job agency like MSL and things like that. Or maybe they sending notice to banks, institutions like that, education institute, IBSL. If you're following process, there is now we are not coming, but otherwise you may can see through the IBSL there are a lot of advertisement and say if you're interested, please apply for this blah blah. And also write-ins and walks-in. Okay, sometimes you was telling walking into mean යන ගමන් එන්න අමුතු දේවල් නැහැ, විශේෂ දෙයක් නැහැ, application දෙවල් නැහැ, application එක හදාගෙන එන්න into it එදාට. Right? So there are so many methods available, right? Recruitment methods. Then what are the advantages of internal recruitment? ඇතුලෙන් ගැනීමේ තිබෙන වාසි මොනවද? What are the disadvantages? ඇතුලෙන් ගන්නකොට මොකක්ද වාසිය? Less costly. ඇයි ඇතුලේ ඉන්න දන්න මේකානේ. The less costly. You don't want to spend money for advertisements, you know, he has already aware. And candidates are already oriented toward the organization. We don't want to give a specific inductions or specific training for them because he's already know about what is the bank, products, situations and all. Right. And also, and the bank will know better about individual knowledge about the candidate as well as candidate knowledge about the organization. And also through getting internal people, internal employees morale and motivation increase, right? Because people know I have a career prospects. motivation. What are the disadvantages? You know, alut blood gain නැත්නම් new life නෙමෙයි අර පරණ විදියම තමයි. Even though promoted, he behaved like that, right? Then who is going to do the existing job? Again, we are going to find out another person. His job, what you're doing, right? And maybe influencers coming from politics and other known people, you know, there are a lot of problem. Other issue is then on the pastenic corner in our into it. Well, can I gun it? Others are working. අනිත් හතර දෙනාම තරහ වෙනවා. ඇයි? ඔය අපි බොස්ට කඩේ යන්නේ නෑනේ. අපි ඉතින් ඕවා නෑනේ බොස් එක්ක. අපි මල් කඩන්න යන්නේ නෑනේ. අපි දන්නවා බොස්ගේ මාමාගේ පුතානේ මෙයා. මාලා. බස් එක්කෙනෙක් ගන්න කියලා හතර දෙනෙක් තරහ වෙනවා. So some of the issues, moral problems will come because if by one got involved in one person. So these are some of the issues of internal recruitment. There are advantages as well as some disadvantages of internal and external people. Let's look at what is external recruitment advantages. And you get a new skills, new blood, right? You come up with a lot of new ideas, right? And the problem, what are the disadvantages of internal recruitment will overcome through external recruitment, right? Now, advantages. So advantages of internal recruitment become disadvantages of external recruitment. And as you know, it is a costly and all these things, right? And so these are internal and external. So what are the mode of recruitment? You can advertise through newspapers. You can use internet, right? And you can give it to recruitment agency, right? There are a lot of advertising the recruitment methods available, but there are some costly, some are not costly. So say for advertisement, paper advertisement, costly. Now internet is cheap, right? It's go to wider people. There are some advantages and disadvantages of also in methods, right? Okay. Now I think you now have an idea about recruitment. Clear, Tirunada? Right. What is recruitment? How are you going to recruit people? Internal and external, right? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Right. Now you are ready with the talented pool of candidates are ready for a what? Selection, right? Now we have not done any selection. දැන් ඔන්න එක වගේ කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා රජතුමා ගාව රජතුමාගේ රජ දියණියව බඳලා දෙන්න රජ කුමාරයෝ ටික එක වගේ කට්ටිය. Because why? Your recruitment is good. If your recruitment is not good, the next step also have a issue. Now on the හිතාගන්න රජ කුමාරයෝ ටික ඔක්කොම ලෑස්තිලා ඉන්නවා ශිල්ප දක්වන්න කාව බඳ ගන්නද රජ කුමාරියෝ, right? That is the next steps we call the selection. Now selection mean what? Selection mean the process of finding most appropriate, most suitable, most suitable candidate to fill the vacancy out of the pool of candidates, right? Now you see selection is now potential candidates lagi හොඳම එක්කෙනා හරි දෙන්න හරි අපි දැන් තෝරන්න යනවා. එතකොට recruitment එක හරියට කරලා තිබුණේ නැත්තම් what about our selection also come wrong, right? That is why recruitment play an important role. It will facilitate for selection purposes. If your recruitment is wrong, your selection is wrong, right? Okay. Now through the selections, what are you going to do? දැන් ඔන්න අපි රජ කතාවට යමුකෝ. රජ කතාවේ මොකද කියන්නේ? දැන් ඔන්න රජතුමා කියනවා පෙන්නන්න ශිල්ප දක්වන්න දුනු විදිනවා සටන්කම මතකයිනේ රජ කතාවම බලලා තියෙනවද? Right. Now what you do? Now when you come for a recruiter, they was asked to come one day and you may go through some testing. Right? Okay, before that, we'll say any selection process need to ensure, right, 4 things. One is reliability. It give a consistent results. Second, validity. Third, fairness. Right? We recruited the people very fair. We know any buyers, අරයාගේ application එක ගත්තේ නැහැ, මෙයාගේ එක ගත්තේ නැහැ, non-discriminatory. And we have to do it very cost effectively. රුපියල් මිලියන ගාණක් සල්ලි වැය කරනවා නම්, right? එක job එකක් ගන්න අපරාධනේ. Now I can remember one time there's a governor, Indian State Bank of India governor came to Sri Lanka and she had a lecture for us. I mean, all the bankers was participated and she told a nice story. He said he want to recruit employees to the State Bank of India. That's like Central Bank of Sri Lanka. That's a governing body of Indian banks. So they have put an advertisement because he's a national institution. You have to call everybody. My goodness, what she told, she got around millions and millions of application. My goodness. Now because India is a huge country, all having qualification. Now she told us, in fact, not to me, for us, everybody there, they took almost 1.5 years to select, shortlisted the applicants. Why? All millions had to go through. No? My goodness, you can imagine the cumbersome if are going to take people to that post, right? So that then it's not cost effective, right? Okay. Now, having understood the selection, now what we are going to do? What is the objective? Now we want to get the correct person to that job, right? God, that's important. Get the right person to the right job. That's the selection. Image as a good employee. So when you select, we need to fulfill certain objectives, right? Okay. And then the importance has a direct effect of the quality of HR available, and the selections determined available in the organization. Effective selection impair organization structures. That means if you are not done your selection properly, it will impact your organizational success because the guy who selected may not doing the job, useless of having selected, right? Expected job performance does not occur by that person also. So because of these reasons, remember, right, selections need to be done very, very much carefully, right? Okay, now I think those things you can read and try to answer, try to learn all these things. Possibility of harming, thought of some existing employee, a lot of selection planning important role. Now let's look at it, right? Having understood the importance of selection, like procurement, let's look at the steps involving in selection process. What are the steps involving in selection process? Now, first, screening of application. Screening of application. Now, screening of applications mean, so you're shortlisting. So you said you got 1,000 applications. Now, to whom you are going to call for an interview or whatever, right? So you are shortlisted. That is what you call screening of application. Screening of application. Out of the many, also you select only for thousands are good. Now, say for a bank, like government bank, when they apply, when you call for a management trainee, so what is asking? University degree with upper class and blah blah. My goodness, for that even today, we are getting around 5,000, 6,000 applications for degree. first class, sometimes second upper, around 5,000 applications are receiving for management trainee posts for bank. Right now, all 500 has to be to call. Yes, if it is a course specific with the government banks. Right? If you have fulfilled all the requirements which is shown in your advertisement, remember job analysis, job description, job specification, we need to call them. Suppose now we all call. Now what you are going to do? Usually you may have the test. We'll have a test to the all, general knowledge, banking knowledge and all. Then you further shortlisted. Okay, now out of 5,000, only exam pass, you do a test, you pass only written exam. It can be conducted by you or maybe can give it to the outsourcers to do like IBSL or any other examination department or whoever to conduct the exam. And now out of 5,000, now we are going to only have 1,000 because you may have a cutoff line. Students who got 75 above, we call. Then you have a cutoff time. So all the above students who got candidates who got 75 call for an interview. Right? Okay. Still you don't know whether these are the good guys. Some guys are very good in writing but can't do the job. So therefore, you may carry out some now for some private banks. So you may have a test. With the exam, IQ tests and things like that. Once you pass, only I'm referring to two types, right? Banking assistants and management trainee level. Once you pass, only you call for an interview. Now there are some tests can be done in a different way. There are some tests. Now test mean, as I explained to, intelligence, cognitive ability test, aptitude test, personality test, situational test, types of motor and physical abilities depend on your job. Now, say for an example, your bank security officer, so you must have look at the physical abilities. Now, situational test mean sometimes then and there they give you some problem for you to answer. Situational test. You know that and you was asked to talk. You test your certain capabilities and competencies, right? Certain test, certain knowledge about your computers knowledge, right? They will ask something, was given practical to address. There are a lot of tests you can carry out for you to see your suitability. Or sometimes you may carry out different type of interviews. Right? Sometimes you call for an interviews, there may be a panel, there may be a street interview. Street interview, you will ask situational interviews, in-depth interview, one-to-one. For a big job, you usually have a one-to-one interview. Or otherwise, you may judge, you will carry out a lot of interviews to select the best people. Right? Why now sometimes you noted that some at the interview panel they may sitting in the back very long corridor for candidate to walk and there's a door. So the lecture panel in the extreme corner of that hall. So now you are walking to the lecture, walking to the interview panel. So there may be around 20 meters to walk. Now you get panic. Why? All the interview panel will watch you, how you work, and all problems. You may fail. You may, you are, I mean, you are going for an interview. You need to walk around 20 meters. So panel will look at it, how you work and how you behave and things like that. You also get panic. And what is into the interviews we judging? So what is your ability? So how you face situation like that, all matters. Then once you have the interview, once you go there, after going also they look at it, how you work and you put all the papers down, close the door, sada, patas and all, they watch you. Right? Some people are touching the news table and all, so they watch you. So you're testing you where you're good for right candidate for the organization. There are various ways, right? Now, through the selection, only you decide through series of test activities, interviews, then you find a person for right. So remember, cost for poor selection, because you are spending a lot of money for that. Your time, your energy, right? All things are there. So remember the cost of poor selection, direct cost, as well as there are some hidden costs in mourning for your wrong selection, because after all you are selecting the wrong person, so spending a lot of money. Right, now, done a selection, still you are not taking the organization, we make an offer letter to you. Right now we have selected 5 people, say for an example, or one person for manager Maharagam. Right, so we have selected. Now it doesn't mean we have selected you the job, to offer the job. So you have selected. And the second one, so we are giving you a opportunity. Right. Now, before that, I have a small question for you. Now you understood what is recruitment. Now you know what is selection. Right. Try to answer to this question. I need a correct answer. Then I can think whether you understood to the concept or not. This is one of my questions. Can you answer to this question? Identifying and attracting the most capable applicant to the financial organization is called what? A, B, C, D. What may be the correct answer?
B.
Huh?
C. B.
C? Why
B.
C? Answer is right. Answer is B. Right? Recruitment. I told you, recruitment means try to get more talented, attracting most capable applicants to the financial. That doesn't mean we have taken them, right? Orientations comes once you have taken, right? So it's not a selection. So selection is done once you've done a lot of tests. So answer is for this is therefore B, recruitment. What is recruitment mean? Identifying and attracting the most capable. Now I'll show you. Now remember this definition, right? The first definition what we have learned, recruitment is the process of finding and attracting suitably qualified people to apply for employment, right? So recruitment is that. Okay. Now we back again to the questions, right? Right? මේවා එකපාරක් අහන් හිටියම අමතක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? That is why we need. Okay. Now we going for the third step in human procurement process. What is that? Hiring. Now, once you've done the recruitment, you've done the selection. Now you are offering a customer letter, appointment letter. Okay, we willing to take you. This is your salary, and this is your benefits, right? But still, just because of you offering an appointment letter, you are not hiring to the organization, right? The moment you hire to the organization means you need to accept the offer. So you need to sign the appointment letter. Right? එතකන් ෂුවර් නෑ අපි කියන්නේ appointment letter එක එනකම් අනේ දුව අසෙන්න එපා අනේ පුතේ අසෙන්න එපා. Why? Appointment letter is a contractual obligation. Then only you can fight. Suppose if you say I not get the job because this is a proof document, appointment letter. So therefore both parties agreed the appointment letter, so then it's become hiring. Hiring means you take to the organization, right? It's not recruitment, it's not selection. Hiring only you take legally to the organization. That is the third step of procurement. Recruitment, selection, hiring. We did recruitment and selection to facilitate the hiring. If you are not done your recruitment, your selection is wrong. If you are not done your selection better, you took the wrong person to the organization. Right? Okay. Now, look at it. Once you taken to the organization, now some of you maybe have enough and enough experience on that, how you join the bank, right? Okay, so the process of making the selected candidate a member of the organization, the member of the organization uh, is called the hiring, right? And the member become once you got the appointment letter, right? So now you got the appointment letter. Now what you try to do? Oh, now we go for orientations or inductions, right? The process of making the new member familiar to the organizations and facilitating him more to easily settle the job is called induction, right? Actually, it is systematically and formally introduce the new employee for the organization and to the job, right? Remember, systematically and formally introduced to the new employees to the organization. It's called inductions or orientation, right? Both are same and the way O, right? O orientation. Inductions or orientation both are same, not and, right? Induction stroke orientations or inductions or orientation, right? So making systematically and formally introduce the new employee to the organizations as well as to the job, make it more familiar to the organization or to the job is called induction. Now sometimes you may have a probationary period. What do you mean by a probationary period? Mean, so you need a certain period of time during which a new employee who has hired of permanent post works for an organization we call probationary period. So then management will look at it, whether you are okay, then you may become permanent, right? That's an issue, but usually probationary period they will permanent you unless otherwise you have not done any bad thing, right? The period you are undergoing before you are permanent to the post is called probationary period. Okay, right. Now, what are the benefits of an organized orientation program, right? Okay, what are the benefits? So benefits, it can reduce expenditure on recruitment. So we don't, I mean, benefits from orientation program will facilitate for you. Second, motivate new staff. You will be, I mean, you're giving some training. First training you are getting in the organization is called orientation or induction, right? And through that, you know, you will facilitate through create a belongingness to the organization. You introduce to the staff. You are anxious the situation may get it off because you are more now familiar, right? Build confidence about the organization and the organization environment, right? Then you become a productive employee. So there are so many advantages of about this of orientation program. I think most of you, once you join the bank, before you put into the job, you may given induction programs, right? I think that's the first training we call inductions. හරියට අර අම්මා කෙනෙක්ගෙන් දරුවෙකුට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම හම්බෙන කිරිවලට අපි කියනවා මොනවා කියලාද කියලාද ඒකට අර ප්‍රතිදේහ ජනක එක්කනේ දෙන්නේ ඒ වගේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මුලින්ම හම්බෙන ට්‍රේනින් එකට අපි කියනවා inductions, right? So sometimes the examiner may ask from you, what are the training or what are the things you get it, or what are the, as a training manager, so what are the things you need to provide to the new recruitment or in the induction program, right? Usually these are the information you may provide to the oriented program. One is objectives and philosophy of the organization. What is the organization, right? And they talk about company history, what are the policies, what are the HR policies, what are the practices, what is the dress code, or what all the things you are going to give at the very orientation program. And also they talk about the vision and missions of the organization and the policy, right? And company history, how history about this bank, maybe they have established under 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. What are the internal policies, what are the HR, especially HR, your leave records, your attendance and things like that, the disciplinary code, all the things they are going to discuss and explain also what are the organization product and services, right? And number of branches and the structure of your organization, hierarchy, right? And all things, your organization plan, your structure about your organization, right? And your responsibility, all are usually giving at the induction program, right? So we have some time. So that is the T2. So the T3, we're going to discuss about training, performance evaluation, and things like that. Okay, right. Now, going back again for you. Okay, now have you understood what we have learned today? Okay, I need your support, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Clear the okkama therunada, right? Pratibha, okay? Clear, Pratibha? Right.
Okay, sir.
Right. Sandanika, good. Right. Manti, no? Manatita, Manti, Nachma, good. Then Manishi, right. Okay, so now we have covered, right? So HR is more than that, Puta, but at least for your exam, for your level, this is more than enough, right? Okay, right. So now what we have discussed today, up to now, we have learned job design, right? And we discuss about the job analysis. Then we discuss about the today we discuss human resource planning, and then we discuss about the recruitment, and then selection, and then hiring, induction. So all are activities of human resource management. Now you think, you as a bank assistant who joined the bank, are you undergoing this, went through all these steps? Steps right? Okay, now you see a lot of time, most of the time the student get confused the word recruitment and selection, right? Recruitment different, selection is different, hiring is different, right? You understood now very clearly what is recruitment, what is selection, what is hiring. Now whatever the questions comes under that area, we are going to discuss, right? Okay, so try to learn all these things. Now you have 2 weeks. We will see you again on 3rd, I suppose, right? With a good ear, and try to answer. And remember, you don't want to study hard. I'm just keep on telling, participating Lectures is more than enough. Why? Because notes, more than notes, I will explain to you. Right? I hope you won't get anywhere. You can learn HR in human in banking exams, right? In IABF or DABF, no human resource management is taught, only class management, right? Okay, so I hope you understood. Have any final thing? Have any doubt to clear? මට පොඩි chat එකක් හරි දාන්න. Right? තේරුම් නැත්නම් මේ area එකේ කියලා. Okay, දැන් මට මේ වල තියෙනවා clear, right? Okay. Right. ප්‍රශ්න නැද්ද? ආසාවටවත් නිකන්වත් no question. Nothing? Right. Okay. So now, I usually cover what I'm giving, right? So that's how I work, right? Okay. So then thank you again. Have a nice weekend and a happy Christmas, and come back with a new year with a good things in memory. Okay. Thank you very much. So we will see you on next year, same time.